Myself A. Usharani, Assistant Professor of EC Department, Vignan's Institute of Information Technology, going to deliver a lecture on Basic Processing Unit, which is the topic under Computer Architecture and Organization. The basic processing unit is nothing but CPU, Central Processing Unit. It consisting of arithmetic and logical unit, control unit and memory, how they are connected each other and how they are processed. Let's see, coming to the contents of this topic, how we can execute a complete instruction and the process of instruction execution, how we are doing by using microprogrammed control. Okay, in microprogrammed control, we have a micro instructions and microprogram sequencing, wide branch addressing and micro instructions with next address field. Now, in this topic, we will see what is the microprogrammed control. Before going to that, how we can execute a program or instruction. Let's to execute an instruction. Where is the instruction? Instruction is available in memory. It is available in memory. The memory is identified with the address and this is the corresponding instruction. Now, we must point an address of that instruction. For that, we are using a program counter. Program counter, in short, PC. PC is nothing but which points the address of the instruction to be fetched. Okay. Now, this address is pointed by PC. Now, the corresponding instruction must be copied to instruction register IR. Then only it can process the corresponding instruction. But these two are not connected to the memory. These registers are in the processor. The memory is connected only through MAR and MDR. MAR is memory address register and MDR is memory data register. Okay, here MAR points the corresponding location and the data, corresponding data will be copied to MDR. So, now if you want to fetch an instruction, first it points by the program counter. Now, it will be copied to MAR. MAR points the corresponding location. The content of that location will be copied to MDR. Now, from that MDR, it will copy to IR. Now, what is the steps we required? Now, from PC to MAR, this is the address. The contents of program counter points the address of the instruction to be fetched, which should be copied to MAR. Then, the corresponding location is identified and the corresponding contents will be copied to MDR, corresponding to instruction from MDR to IR. Okay, this is the process. Now, see for that how we are going to perform. The PC points the corresponding address. Now, here we are considering each instruction is 32-bit. So, it requires 4 memory locations as the memory of each location can occupy only a byte of data. But here we are considering an instruction is 32 bits, that is 4 bytes. So, it will occupy 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 memory locations. So, the next instruction will be pointed by 5. Now, the program counter points the corresponding location. The content of this location, that is instruction, should be copied to instruction register. How it is performed? The content of PC is address and those address content will be instruction which should be copied to IR. The next, the PC has to update to the next instruction to be fetched, that is the contents of PC plus 4. Why here we are considering 4? The each instruction is 32 bits, that is 4 bytes. So, it should be 5th location. Next location if you want to get, it should be add 4. 1 plus 4, 5. Next, the 5 plus 4, 9. Okay. The PC has to update, that is here we have to add a 4 to get the next instruction address. Now, here we have two phases. The one is fetch phase and the second one is execution phase. These two are the contents of PC, that is copying the instruction to the instruction register, and the updation of the program counter is nothing but fetch phase. Next, execution phase is nothing but corresponding instruction will be executed. Here the operation is move R1 comma 3, that is the data should be copied to register R1, that is going to perform in execution phase. Fetch phase is nothing but an instruction from the memory to processor, fetching an instruction from the memory to processor, and the PC is updated to the next instruction address, that is fetch phase. Next, now we have to see execution of an instruction add content of R3 comma R1. Okay, here the content of R3 is nothing but address and those contents will be added to R1 and the sum will be copied to R1. This is the instruction. The content of R3 is an address. Those contents will be added to content of R1 and the sum will be copied to R1. Always remember here the first one indicates operation, the second one is source and the next one is operand 2 plus destination. Okay, now this is an instruction. Where it is? It is available in again memory. From this memory, we have to copy to the instruction register by using program counter, MAR and MDR. Then the corresponding instruction will be executed. Let us see the single bus organization of CPU. Okay, here the internal processor bus, it consisting of address bus, data bus, at the same time control bus. Here the PC, MAR, MDR, all those are control signals, and for each signal we have a in and out. Okay, for example, PC, for PC there is a PC in signal, at the same time PC out signal. Similarly for MAR, MAR in and MAR out. Okay. Now, here we have to perform an instruction, we have to execute an instruction. To execute an instruction, the first one is fetch phase. Okay, and the second one is execution. Okay, in fetch phase, what we have to perform? In fetch phase, the contents of PC is the address and the contents of those address should be copied to IR and the PC has to update to next instruction. The PC has to update to the next instruction, that is PC plus 4. These two operations has to perform in fetch phase and in execution phase according to the instruction it will perform. Next, see here we are considering an instruction add content of R3 comma R1. Okay, this instruction is available in memory. So, we have to fetch from memory to instruction register and the corresponding address of this instruction is pointed by program counter, but the program counter and instruction register does not have direct access to the memory. So, we go with MAR and MDR. Now, what is the first step we have to perform? The contents of PC is the address of this instruction. It should be copied to MAR. So, PC out, MAR in. Now, we are specifying an address. Okay. Now it identifies the corresponding location. Those content should be copied to MDR. So it is external to the processor. We have to read from external to this. So we have to generate a read control signal. The next thing, the PC has to update it to the PC plus 4. Okay. To select this, it has to perform an addition operation, that is the arithmetic operation. So here we have to select add, and the PC is directly available through the bus. So it is directly connected to B. But here we have to add 4. 4 it is, where it is available? It is available to the multiplexer with constant 4. Now the multiplexer has to select constant 4, then it will be provided as an input to A. Now these two will be added by selecting add, and the output is available to Z. So the Z in signal we have to elect. So first the multiplexer has to select 4. The next thing we have to select add signal. The next thing, the output of ALU is provided to Z. So it is Z in. This is the first step. Next, the second step. Okay, it is available, the PC plus 4 is available in Z in. Now it has to provide it to PC. So Z out, PC in. Okay. The next thing, here we are performing read operation. Read operation, it is external to the memory. So we have to wait until the memory function completed. WMFC, that is memory function completed. Wait, W is wait. We have to wait until the read operation is completed. Now once the read operation is completed, now the data is available in MDR. This should be copied to IR. So MDR out, IR in. With this, the fetch phase is completed, that is the contents of IR is copied with the instruction and the PC is pointing the next instruction. Okay. These 3 steps is common for every instruction, that is fetching of an instruction from the memory to processor. Now depending on the instruction, the execution phase will be start. The next step 4 is, now the instruction is available in instruction register. What is the instruction? Add content of R3 comma R1, where content of R3 is the address. We have to again fetch the data from the memory. Now this address should be copied to MR. Again the registers do not have access to memory. So we have to go through only MR and MDR. So the first and 3, the content of R3 sent out, and where it has to copy? MR in. Okay. Next, it has an external. So we have to generate a read control signal. This is regarding R3. Now what is the second operand? The second operand is R1. We should paste this second operand to B. Okay. We should place this second operand to B. So it is R1 out. R1 out, and this one Y, through the Y we have to select. Okay, R1 out and Y in, and here we have to add for the next step. What is this operation? Add R3, content of R3 plus R1, and the sum will be placed in R1. So first the R1 is out and it will through the Y in, and by selecting a multiplexer it will send to this, and we have to select add. Next, here we have a generated already read signal. So we have to wait for memory function complete, that is until the read operation performs we have to wait. Now once the read operation is performed, the data is available in MDR. Now it will be out, MDR out, MDR out. So it is available through the bus. So it is connected to B. Now already we sent R1, that is the second operand, and it is given to Y. Now we have to select Y. Next we have to select addition operation. Okay. The first R1 is through A and R3, content of R3 is through B, and we are selecting addition, and the sum is available to Z. So here again we have to insert Z in. Now the sum is available in Z. Now where should be the output? Output has to copy to R1. So Z out, R1 in, and with this the instruction execution is completed. So we have to perform AND. Okay. With this the execution and fetch phase both are completed. Once see here the instruction is available in memory. So if you want to access that instruction, we have to point by PC, but the PC and IR register don't have any access through memory, only MR and MDR. Through MR, MDR only we are connected to memory. So the first three steps is fetching of an instruction from the memory to processor, and these three steps are common for every instruction, and the execution phase is depending on the instruction. Okay, if it is the instruction consisting memory operand, again we have to fetch the contents of that data from the memory to processor only by MR and MDR. And how we are generating these? By using two methods. One is the hardwired control, and the second thing is microprogrammed control. See the microprogrammed control. Microprogrammed control, in the name itself it indicates it's a programming. We have a in terms of instructions, the control word and micro instructions. In terms of instructions we have to generate. Now see this, how the instructions here, these are the control signals we have to insert. Okay. Now depending on this instruction, for example this instruction has add content of R3 comma R1, these are the micro instructions, and for that micro instruction for step 1 the PC out will be set. So the corresponding PC out will be 1, PC out will be 1 and MR in 1 and read signal and select 4 and add and Z in, and the remaining signals all are should be 0, and depending on this like this, for the second thing Z out will be 1 and PC in will be 1 and WMFC will be 1 and the remaining all are 0. With this we have to generate a control signals or control word and micro instruction, and we have to generate the complete micro routine. Okay, this is the format of control word and micro instructions and micro routine. For example, in this we have to choose all the control words. If it is the processor has 500 control signals, if the processor has 500 or more signals, then we have to use every signal has to. Okay, here it has take lot of signals, but the thing is here the speed. Okay, it directly acts, so the speed will be increases. Next we go for microprogrammed control. For that the micro routine is placed in the control store. Okay, here whenever the instruction is available in the instruction register, the corresponding address is generated by the starting address generated, and here the micro PC is nothing but it is the pointer, or it points the address of the micro instruction, whereas PC the program counter points the address of the instruction. In micro PC it points the address of the micro instructions, and it will be updated or it will be incremented sequentially with the clock to execute the next sequential instructions and next control words. Okay. This is, in this method we are not considering any branch instructions. If there is a branch, if we want to check the conditional steps, then we go for branch instructions also. For that, this method is not applicable. We go for, here we are generating only starting address of that micro instruction. We are not modifying that address. Next method, we are using conditional steps also. Okay, here we have to condition means we have to check the conditional flags. What are the conditional flags? Zero flag, negative flag, overflow flag. Depending on the flag status, we have to switch to the instructions. That is, we have to change the program counter address to the corresponding micro routine. Now see, for example, micro routine for the instruction branch less than 0, that is for negative. If it is negative, we have to execute a micro routine corresponding to the branch instruction. Otherwise, it has to switch to the next instruction. Let us see the steps of address and micro instructions. The first 3 steps are common for every instruction. That is nothing but fetching of an instruction from the memory to instruction register, and the PC has to update to the next instruction. Now, what is the next step? Depending on the instruction, we have to branch to the starting address of appropriate micro routine. Now, here we are choosing for micro routine. If it is a negative, for negative we have to check negative flag, that is n. If n equals to 0, that is a positive number. If n equals to 1, that indicates it is a negative number. So, first we are checking. If n equals to 0, we go for next instruction, that is again we have to fetch the new instruction within the sequence only. So, it will go for location 0. If it is 1, we go for micro routine, that is next to the location. How we can choose? The IR will be updated with the PC will be updated to the branch address. So, that will be specified by IR, and again same thing, we have to add to the offset, whatever the offset, it has to add the PC, and the PC is connected to Y. So, we are selecting Y, add Z in, and the Z in, the Z, that is the sum is nothing but accumulated address, that should be copied to PC in. Okay, this is the process to change the branch address, to change the micro routine address. Now, this is the instructions how we are going to perform with the architecture. Now, whenever the instruction is available within the register, instruction register, it is through starting and branch address generator. Previously, it is only starting address, now it is modified to the branch address also, depending on the external inputs and conditional codes, that is the flags. Depending on the status, it will modify, and the corresponding control word will be generated. And here the micro PC is, previous case it is sequentially incremented to execute the next instructions, but here the micro PC is not incremented every time. If it is, there is a conditional statement, if there is a branch instructions, and if there is an end statement, then the micro PC will not increment. In the remaining cases, if the micro routine is in sequence, then it will directly automatically incremented by clock. This is the branch. Already we seen the micro programmed control. What is the micro programmed control? Now, we see what are the micro instructions, how we generating, and what is the micro programming sequence, wide branch addressing, and micro instructions with next address field. Coming to the micro instructions, already in the last class we see how we are generating a control word, how we are generating a micro instructions. Okay, if we are using all the signals, then we are using horizontal microcode. If you are using only some particular, depending on the micro routine, then we go for vertical microcode, or we can use the field encoded micro instructions also. Coming to the first thing, horizontal microcode. Okay, that is the example of last instruction. Okay, if you are considering individual signals, then it is a horizontal microcode. This is the fastest microcode, but the number of signals will be more, the number of bits will be more. Next, coming to the vertical microcode, this is depending on the micro routine we are modifying. For example, in this case we have a 7 steps. So, we are considering for 7 steps minimum bits required to represent is 3 bits. So, we are representing with 3 bits, and this is differ for each micro routine, that is it is different for each instruction, and all these has to store in control store. Okay. Compared to the previous case, this is the number of bits will be reduced, but here it is also lot of memory it will take. The next thing is field encoded micro instructions. Here, for example, additions, that is additions, arithmetic and logical operations, that is these are the ALU operations. Okay, at a time we can perform any one operation, that is the signals are not sequentially coming at the same time. For example, these are the out signals, these are the in signals. The signals are mutually exclusive. Okay, in that cases at a time we have only one combination. So, for that purpose we are using different fields. Okay, in the F1 field only we have a out signals, in F2 field only we have a in signals, and in F3 we have some required, majorly required in signals. Next, arithmetic operations, and at a time we can't perform both read and write operations. So, it can be considered as one signal, at the same time multiplexer outputs and continue and end. Depending on the signals we can make a fields. Okay, compared to the previous horizontal microcode and vertical microcode, this is the advantageous method. The next thing, microprogramming sequence. Microprogramming sequence is nothing but how we can sequence. Okay, already we learned how the instruction is executed with the different addressing modes. The same concept here also we are applying. At source comma R destination, here the source operand is we are choosing different addressing modes. The first thing is register directly available, the second register indirect, that is the register contains the address and the rows contents will be the data. The third thing auto increment mode, and the fourth auto decrement, and the indexed. Indexed means we are adding a displacement. Okay, this is the flow chart for add source comma R destination. Okay, here the destination is a register and it is available within the processor, but the source is we are considering in different addressing modes. Okay, the first here we are considering the source is direct, that is add R source comma R destination. Here the source and destination both are registers and directly available. So, the contents of source is added with the contents of destination and the sum is copied to destination. This is the performance. Okay. Here we are first perform fetch phase and execution phase. The fetch phase is nothing but fetching of an instruction from the memory to processor. Next, execution phase. Execution phase is nothing but depending on the instruction it will change. Okay. First, the fetch phase is nothing but MBR, the contents of PC. This is the first step, second and third. These three steps is common for every instruction, and depending on the instruction here we are considering depending on the addressing mode we are branching to different micro routines. Each one is one micro routine. Each path has some micro instructions. Depending on the addressing mode we are branching. Okay. Now, first we are considering direct, register direct. Register direct is nothing but it is directly available within the register. The data is directly available within the register and the register is available within the processor. So, there is no fetching of the data from the memory. Directly it is available. So, directly we can add and the output we can send to the register as the destination is also a register. So, These three steps are common. Okay, once the data is available, now it has to add, and by after adding the addition, the sum is copied to destination register, and this one and fetching of an instruction is common. Only in between we have a different micro instructions depending on the addressing modes. If it is direct, we go for directly. Next, coming to the indirect. Okay, coming to the indirect, that is add R source plus R destination. Okay, this is indirect. Now, the contents of R source is an address. Where it is? We have to, the data is available in memory. Now, we have to identify the corresponding location with MAR. Then we have to fetch the data to the MDR. Then we go for addition operation. So, here the contents of R source is copied to MAR. Then we have to branch to data to the Y we are adding, the corresponding R destination is directly available, and the second operand through Y we are adding. Okay. This is for indirect. Now, the third thing, auto increment mode. Auto increment mode is nothing but plus with plus. Now, for auto increment mode, what happens? Here the source has to update, the register's address has to update, that is it has to increment to the next address. Now, MAR is same process as in the case of indirect mode, the same process, but it has a double. The second thing is it has to increment. Here auto increment is a post increment mode, whereas auto decrement is pre decrement. First the register will be copied, the contents will be copied, then it will be incremented. For coming to the decrement operation, first it decrements the address, next it will copy to the MAR. Okay, it is pre-process and auto increment is post-process. Next, again same thing, once the data is available, the directly it will add and it will copy to the destination register. The next thing is indexed addressing mode. In indexed addressing mode, add, here the source operand we are considering as R source plus displacement. Okay. Now, the addition of register, content of register plus displacement will be the address, and the contents of those address will be added to our destination. And again here we are considering the displacement is available within the memory only, and that address is pointed by program counter. Okay, here we are assuming the displacement is also available in memory and the content of that location is identified by the address which is pointed by program counter. So, for that purpose only, here the contents of PC is sent to MAR to read the corresponding displacement. Now, the displacement is available in Y, it has to add to the R source. So, Y plus R source. Now, we are getting an address. Again this address is sent to MAR to get the data. Now, the data is available and it will be added. Okay. This is the flow chart for add source comma R destination, and the source we are considering with the different addressing modes. Okay. Now, here depending on the addressing mode, it will switches by using bit ORing technique. Just observe here the addresses, here this address is 101 and this address is 101 111, 121, 141 and 161. Okay. For all these addresses, only the center digit is different, and we can switch easily by using bit ORing technique. At the same time, for the direct mode and for the indirect mode, 170 and 171, only one bit position is differ. So, it is also can be accessed by using OR technique. Let us see the steps of execution of a complete instruction. Add R3, R1. Okay, these are the steps. Okay, here we have a 7 steps, and each step is one instruction, one micro instruction, and we are also calling as a control word. How we are going to generate all these, how we are going to perform. Okay. And this micro routine, the group of all control words, all micro instructions, we are calling as micro routine. Next, wide branch addressing. Wide branch addressing mode is nothing but, here we are using an instruction to, for this, add source comma R destination. For this instruction or any instruction, we are representing the instruction, micro instruction is with 16 bits. How we are performing? Here, the first thing is opcode, that is which operation it has to perform, whether it is move or addition or subtraction. The next thing, which type of addressing mode, whether it is direct or indirect or auto increment, auto decrement and indexed addressing mode. For this we are choosing 3 bits, whereas 10 and 9 is for addressing mode and 8 is for direct and indirect. And we have a 16 registers from R0 to R15. So, to represent each register minimum we require 4 bits. To represent as a source register we are using 4 bits, and the bit 3 to bit 0 we are using R destination, that is destination register. Okay. Here the bit 10 and 9, if it is 0 0, it is a register direct. If it is 0, auto increment mode, 1 0. Depending on these control signals, it will switch us to the corresponding micro routine. And the bit 8 is only 0 and 1. If it is 0, that is the direct addressing mode. If it is 1, that is indirect addressing mode. Okay, for that we are choosing the addresses. For bit 8, we are choosing the addresses 170 and 171. This bit is nothing but 8th bit of this. By this we are switching the addresses from 170 to 171 and 170 to 170, that is direct and indirect. Okay, this is the addresses for register direct, the center bit. The center bit will be the change of addresses for direct or indirect, at the same time different addressing modes. These all can be generated by using bit ORing technique. Now see the branch addressing mode. For this R source plus, that is nothing but auto increment addressing mode. In auto increment addressing mode, the first, whatever the instruction, the first 3 steps are common for any instruction, that is fetching of an instruction from the memory to processor. The next auto increment mode, for auto increment modes we go for 121, and in 123 up to this 121 to 123 is nothing but we are fetching a data from memory to processor. The next thing, our destination to addition operation, that is done by 171 to 173, and now we are switching from that mode to this. Okay. Okay. The next thing is the same thing, micro instructions we can perform with next address field, the address of the next micro instruction. Within the field we can add, with this each instruction has a address of the next instruction to be fetched. Okay, with this, whenever the instruction is available in the instruction register, okay, here we are considering combination of the first thing, that is the first thing is directly if there is an instruction, it will generate the starting address generator. The second case we are included the branch instructions, that is external inputs and condition codes. And the third case, we are using address generator. Now we are included that address generator within the instruction. That is the corresponding IAR with the next address. What is the next address of the? Okay, here itself it included. We are not generating separately, we are not giving any separate. Itself within the instruction, we are using address, and here bit ORing technique. By using OR logic, we are generating the next address. Okay, with that we are generating the control signals. This is nothing but micro instructions with next address field. That is the instruction, within the instruction only the address of the next instruction is included.